most cultural institutions are afraid to bring in their local fire department. They don't want to invite them in to walk through their building. They don't want to bring attention to themselves. They're afraid that the fire department is going to come in and say, this place is a death trap and we're going to shut you down. And that is so not the case. The fire department is there to create a safer space, and they can be partners.
So this room is simulating library storage room?
Yep.
As a cultural institution, a library or a museum or the town clerk, we do need to be part of our community's disaster recovery. If there's a fire or a tornado or water, then life safety is always the most important for emergency response, but we're also stewards of the cultural heritage in our community, so how do we preserve that?
If something bad happens, we have some irreplaceable things in our special collections, and that's what makes working with local officials, fire department, police department, so critical. Because they know what our priorities are.
The room that we're currently in is set up as if it were a museum storage area. We've got paintings on the wall, we've got costumes hanging on a rack, and below that we've got costumes in boxes. And then on the shelves, we've got some rugs. We've got boxes that are sitting on the floor because they haven't been processed yet. They may be gifts that haven't been looked at. And then we've got something set up here. The computer screen is here indicating that this would have been a workspace. There's a wide variety of different materials in this room. We have talked to the firefighters. They are going to fight this room knowing that this is a museum's collection storage room. They've already talked to the museum. They know that this is historic material that the museum would like to be able to salvage. So the fire is going to be fought with that in mind. This room is set up more as what you would find in a library and archive. So libraries and archives tend to have a lot of range of different materials that they can collect. Suspended ceiling tiles up along the top of the shelf to give the participants an idea of what happens to ceiling tiles when they get wet. This room is going to be fought with no knowledge of the fire department, so they're going to come in and it's going to be a lot of water and a lot of pressure. The room next door with prior knowledge is going to be fought with a fogger nozzle, so it's going to disperse more of a mist into the room rather than a full stream of water. What we really hope that people realize is the importance of having a good relationship with their own local fire department, so that when they came to fight the fire, they could fight the fire not only to preserve life safety and to put the fire out, but also to help preserve the collections in some way.